What's up guys, this is Dabo. I'm here with another video of dissecting racing. Not too much to go over today. I have one clip of me getting a little bit of contact with Chaos Bandit and one clip of Animera getting some more tricky to judge contact with the Lager. Both of these incidents happens at the same lap of the same race, which is the first lap of the second Formula Golf race, which is probably the most trickiest race of the weekend because it's a reverse grid and the conditions, as you can see, were quite terrible. So let's go through the first clip. I'm just gonna play it. You can see here cold tires. We're all racing for at the very start of the race, and so much stuff happening. People going 3 wide here, and we're coming down to the braking zone, and I get a little bit of contact there. Now, I don't know exactly what happened to Chaos Bandit. We can't really tell, but he does have a lot to deal with at the moment, because he has 2 guys on his left and then me on the right. So we're going like 3 wide into this braking zone, and a little bit of contact. You can see here we recover quite nicely, and none of us take too much damage from it, I think. So a very minor thing in quite a tricky situation. So that was the first clip, and here's the second clip. It's from Animera's perspective, and we have a little bit of a more tricky situation to judge. Let's just play the clip first. They're coming into these corners quite tricky at the first lap, and as they turn here to the left, Lager, I believe, is the one who comes on the inside, and Animera gets pushed out to here. Now, I do believe this is a case where both players can improve. I think that Animera is being a little, let's just say, not too generous with the space on the inside. He's already seen Saxi and Nilas take the inside line. And to be fair, Animera does keep his line quite consistently here, but I do think there is some sort of turn-in that happens at this point where the amount of space left on the inside line is quite small. So that's the first thing, I think. But in fairness, he is ahead, so to say. There's not too much overlap from Lager. However, he was aware that Lager was there, and he should therefore give space in a very close situation like this early on in the race. Lager, on the other hand, has also a few things that he could have done differently. The amount of pace or momentum that he carries as he goes into the frame is quite high. If he played back in normal speed, you can see that he has some sort of momentum advantage to Animera, and that's quite dangerous when you go into the inside line, because you run the risk of going a little bit too wide. Now, honestly, there's not space here to go wide at all, because the door is like half shut already, so there's not space to go wide for Lager anyways. So this was an accident waiting to happen. So it's important for both players to know when to back off or give more space. And there's some sort of a bug that happens here as they make contact. You can see Lager's vehicle suddenly makes like a rapid movement, which is what causes this bump to the side there. Luckily, Animera avoids running into Jazzerix. It does a good job slowing his vehicle down there. Okay, so that was a little bit more tricky situation, where I think both players could do something better to avoid contact in the future. Okay, let's take a look at the disconnect, or not disconnect connection, but connection problems. It's between the Pt.3 and myself. It's hard to say, or I mean, it's very random, of course, because it's a it's a network problem. We can't really place blame on anyone for this. It's just sort of what you have to live with in multiplayer online racing, and it's something we deal with quite nicely, especially in our endurance racing, where we can continue the race even if people have some connection problems, where we can go back to the pits and then continue on the lap we started. So it's unfortunate, but let's just take a look at what happened from my perspective. You can see I'm following Pt.3 on ice, and they're keeping quite nicely, and then all of a sudden there's a big hit for me, so I lose both my front tires and I'm unable to continue my race. So quite severe quite severe problem, but it looks quite clearly like some sort of connection issue, as Pt.3 then continues quite far ahead with what looks like to me not having taken damage. Now, what I noticed here is that ice in front is staying put, and as the lag happens, it's only with Pt.3, so that's why I do believe it was a connection problem or some sort of connection hiccup at that point. But again, it's of course there was no foul in this, and it's just part of online racing, so we deal with it and move on. So that's the videos today, and I hope you sort of got something out of it. And yeah, I'll see you on the track. Goodbye.